Let us see another example. In this example, we are trying to find out the point of inflection. Again, exactly the same idea. Okay. So find the first derivative, second derivative, and then set second derivative 0 or undefined, and then find out the x values, and then draw a line, check the sign of the second derivative, and if there is a sign change at that point, then it is basically the point of inflection, right? So if that point is the boundary. Okay, so what is f prime? Is 4x cubed minus 12x squared. F double prime is 12x squared minus 24x. There is no x value, that gives you f double prime undefined, because everything is in the numerator. It is a polynomial, right? So it is defined everywhere. So if you set that equals to 0, I will take 12x out, x minus 2 equals to 0, right? So what are the possible point of inflection? That means if you set that equals to 0, you will get x equals to 0 and 2. These are the possible point of inflection, but we are not sure whether they are actually point of inflection or not. Okay, now draw a line and then mark those points 0, 2, and then find the sign of f double prime. What is f double prime? Equals to 12x squared minus 24x. 12x squared minus 24x. Okay. Now let me take a test point here. I want to take a test point as -1, +1, and then 3. That's what the test point I want to take. So if I plug in -1 here, basically I will get, when I plug in -1, I will get positive sign. Plus, 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 plus. You can use calculator to plug in -1. Okay. If I take +1, my sign will be negative. The second derivative will be negative here. And if I take 3, the second derivative will be positive. Okay. So this is what I get. Now, what do you think the point of inflection will be? So what does that mean? The second derivative positive means it is concave up, it is concave down, it is concave up. Yes, the 0 and 2 are the point of inflection basically, because they are the boundary between the concave up and concave down. So if you want to write concave up, what are the intervals that is concave up? That will be -infinity to 0 and then 2 to infinity, right? So what is concave down? Concave down interval is 0 to 2. What is the point of inflection? Point of inflection are x equals to 0 and 2. You see that? So to be a point of inflection, you need to have those points, the boundary between concave up and down. Okay. Also, if it is a point of inflection, the second derivative will be 0 or undefined for sure. Okay, guys. So let us see a couple more examples. Okay, let us look this example. Find the point of inflection of the fx equals to, let me write down, f of x equals to 4 sine x plus sine 2x on the interval 0 to 2 pi. Okay. Again, to find out the point of inflection, you need to find out the first derivative. What is the first derivative? 4 cosine x, right? And then plus, how much is that? The derivative of, it is like sine u. What is the derivative of sine u? It is cosine of u is 2x, times u prime, 2. So how much is that? That will be 4 cosine of x, right? Plus 2 cosine 2x. That's what I got. How about the second derivative? The second derivative look like -4 cosine of x, sorry, sine of x, right? -4 sine x, because the derivative of cosine x is negative sine x. And similarly here is 2 cosine and then u, right? What is the derivative of cosine u? Plus 2 negative sine u times the u prime is 2, right? So if you simplify, what do you get? -4 sine x minus 4 sine 2x, right? Why? Because there is 2 times 2 there. So that's what you get. Now, these sine functions are defined everywhere. So you don't have to worry about second derivative undefined. There is no point that second derivative is undefined here. So what we do is you said f double prime equals to 0. That implies negative 4 sine x minus 4 sine 2x equals to 0. So do you know what is the formula for sine 2x? It is 2 sine x times cosine x, right? So it is negative 4 sine x minus 4 times 2 sine x times cosine of x equals to 0. What can we factor out? This is common, right? 4 sine x is common. So let's take negative 4 sine x common. What is left is 1 plus 2 cosine of x equals to 0. That is the common. Now we need to find out, we need to solve this separately. What do you get? I get negative 4 sine x equals to 0. That means if you divide by negative 4 on both sides, you get sine x equals to 0, right? And you want to find out these values. What values of sine gives you 0? That means you need to take arc sine on both sides, right? So what do you get? If you take arc sine on both sides, you will get x equals to sine inverse 0. That is 0 and sine inverse 0. Another sine inverse 0 is pi, right? That is the pi. You see that? Also 2 pi. Also 2 pi is also 0, right? 2 pi is 360 degree. Now we need to take that one. 1 plus 2 cosine of x equals to 0 as well. So if you solve for cosine x, you subtract 1 from both sides, right? So 2 cosine of x equals negative 1. So what is cosine of x? Cosine of x equals negative 1 half. So the cosine is negative in second and third quadrant, right? So what are the values? So if you take arc cosine on both sides, you will get x equals to, it will be 120 degree. So how much is 120 degree? That will be pi minus pi over 3, right? So 2 pi over 3. The first value is 2 pi over 3. The second value will be pi plus pi over 3. That will be 4 pi over 3. So these are the possible point of inflection here, but we are not sure. We'll need to check. Okay, these are the possible point of inflection. Now what we do is, since you want to find out between 0 and 2 pi, you draw a line. There is 0. There is 2 pi. Right? And then let us mark these values. There is pi and then 2 pi. Oh, 0 and 2 pi are already gone. Now we need to mark pi. Okay, pi is somewhere here. Pi. So 2 pi over 3 is it bigger than pi or smaller than pi? So 2 over third is less than pi, less than 1. So it is less than, so it is 2 pi over 3. Somewhere here. And 4 pi over 3 is bigger than pi. So 4 pi over 3 will be somewhere here. So what is f double prime? This is the f double prime, right? This value is the f double prime. You see that? So, or this value you can say. So we need to find out the sign of f double prime. In each of these pieces, we will pick different test points, right? So f double prime is equals to negative 4 sine x minus 4 sine 2x. You see that? Now what I suggest you to do is you enter this thing in your calculator and plug in these plug in the test points there. Okay, let me pick a test point here, test point here, test point here, and test point here. So what test point do you want to pick here? You want to pick 2 pi over 3. What is the point less than 2 pi over 3? 2 pi over 4? Yeah, that is less than 2 pi over 3. That is pi over 2, right? You can put pi over 2 as a test point. Another test point. How do I do that? Another test point here. So what I do is, if I don't know what falls in the middle, I will take the average of those two. So 2 pi over 3 plus pi will be 3 pi over 3, right? 2 pi over 3 plus 3 pi over 3 will be 5 pi over 3 divided by 2, right? So 5 pi over 10. I'm taking the average of those two. Okay. Similarly, average of those two, it is 3 pi over 3 plus 4 pi over 3 will be 7 pi over 3 divided by 2. That will be 7 pi over 6. You can do that. Oh, by the way, is it 5 pi over 2? 5 pi over 6, I think. It is not 5 pi over 2. 5 pi over 6. Because 2 pi over 3, this pi means 3 pi over 3, right? This is basically 3 pi over 3. I want to find out the average of those two. So 2 pi over 3 plus 3 pi over 3 will be 5 pi over 3 divided by 2 will be 5 pi over 6. 7 pi over 6. And I want to find out one number that is in the between those two. So that will be 4 pi over 3. That will be 6 pi over 3 because this is 6 pi over 3 is 2 pi, right? So 4 pi over 3 plus 6 pi over 3 is 10 pi over 3 divided by 2 will be 10 pi over 6. That is basically 5 pi over 3. That is in the middle. So what I do next is I will plug in this test point in the black color here in place of X and then check the sign. Okay, that's what I want to do. And then if I get positive, I will write plus plus plus. If I get negative, I will write minus minus minus, and then I will determine the concave up, concave down, and point of inflection. Okay, so so for the point of inflection, so let me write down the sign there. So these are the possible point of inflection, right? So if I put the sign here, so let me check the sign here. I want to use calculator for that. Okay.